Okay, so I've been using Photoshop 2023 for a while, which is a image editing program, which everyone knows of, most people anyway. And when you open it, there is what's called a splash screen that comes up, which is a kind of unnecessary hijack of your computer screen that some programs produce when they're opened, which puts their logo or whatever it is in your face while the program actually loads. In the past, all of the Adobe Creative Suite programs used to have these kind of things, but they were innocuous. They were patterns, or they were kind of they were just patterns. There was nothing to them. But oh no, in 2023, there's the thing for Photoshop that they use, the splash screen, is an image in horrendous colours of a woman, right? And she's going like this, and she's got no facial features, right, below her eyes. And they play this off like, oh, it's just some creative thing that someone. No, it's propaganda, because the people who are at the top of Adobe are part of the problem, the worldwide problem. This is the truth, okay? It's the truth. Otherwise, why would they have someone depicted every single time you open the Adobe Photoshop program with nothing below the eyes? Because they want to make people think about COVID. It's a demoralization campaign. And unfortunately, Adobe has got some people in their business who are part of this worldwide problem. Adobe is an enormous business, okay? They are known everywhere, okay? So why wouldn't the people who are part of this worldwide problem that we've got put or have people or lean on people, or however they influence people in these organizations to produce this kind of nonsense? Because part of the agenda and the way that these annoying idiots produce and try and promulgate this nonsense is through visual depictions which are intended to demoralize. Now, everybody during the COVID nonsense, okay, had to cover their faces with a mask. Ooh, everyone was obedient, apparently, right? Yeah, that's what it was for, and it was put on people. Oh, it's for your safety. No, it was psychological conditioning, plain and simple. If you don't believe that, you're an idiot, and I'm sorry. Just carry on with your life. You're a moron, okay? But if you know what's going on, then you realise it was just psychological conditioning to try and shut people up. Yeah, look, you've got no mouth, so to speak. All right. Now, Adobe, because they're part of the problem, or they have people in their organization who are part of the problem, decided, oh, we've got an opportunity now to stuff imagery into someone's face every single time they use our program that's going to make them think about what happened. Moreover, the woman depicted is doing this. Ooh! Yeah? Or she would have, if she had a mouth, she'd be going, ooh, but she hasn't got a mouth, so she's just like that. That is the universal human body language symbol of there's something desperately wrong. Okay? It's demoralization. It's clear cut demoralization. Right? And that is part of what these. I'm not going to swear. Part of what these people are doing to everybody. They have a campaign of demoralization, of psychological warfare upon every single person on the planet. And that is a problem. Okay? And that is, it has not escaped intelligent people's notice. All right? It's based upon also this, there's an old painting, which is a horrific looking painting called The Scream, wherein the person's doing this. Oh, yeah? So every single time a person uses Photoshop, these people have hijacked it and they've arranged for this imagery to be put in place. So that every single time a person looks at their computer when they're loading up this software, this horrific picture emerges to remind them of COVID. And that's what it's about. Okay? Because COVID, albeit there was definitely something that was going around that was definitely making people ill, right? The whole I'm not even going to get into the nuts and bolts of that horrific crime that was perpetrated against humanity. Oh, it jumped from bats. No, it didn't. It was genetically engineered. Right? Absolutely, absolutely genetically engineered. All right? It came from a laboratory in Wuhan and it got out, whether intentionally or not, who knows? The point is, it swept through humanity and either it was planned or someone got the idea of, okay, we can use this as a massive conditioning experiment for the whole of humanity, right? And everyone was told, you've got to wear masks. And you've got Chinese people used to wear masks because they have a pollution problem in their country. Although I've spoken to some Chinese people and they say, oh, we wear them because we want anonymity in our country. I don't want to live like Chinese people. Now, we don't have to wear masks now, thank heavens. But it was all about social conditioning. And again, this nonsense, social distancing. What a load of rubbish. The key to what they really mean is in the name. It's about keeping people apart, because people who are conditioned to be apart are easier to control. I mean, if you can't see this, you are blind. Now, at the moment, that sort of thing, people are just sort of trying to put it in the past and forget about it, and that's the right thing to do. Right? But the people behind it who do have connections here and there and everywhere, okay, are trying to get people to feel demoralized, which is psychological warfare against the people of our nations. Okay, that's what's going on. The idea is to keep people in a condition of worry, of anxiety, because if you repeatedly expose people time and time again to the same imagery, it has an effect on people. That's why advertising works. Because people are exposed to an image and okay, I'll eventually get that product. That's just human nature. Yes, you can actively ignore, but it takes energy to ignore things. So, here we are. Every time I use Photoshop, I'm subjected, and every other person of the probably, I don't know how many people use that. I'm going to say 1 billion people use Photoshop. And there are, 7 billion people in the world or more? Yeah, I would imagine 1 in 7 human beings uses Photoshop or is aware of it or has whatever, even 500 million, even 500 million people. The fact is, it's the intention that this business, this private company, right, has got the intention they've got, because they have influence, people influencing them, is to try and push an agenda, right? And part of the agenda is to keep people in a condition of anxiety, especially about COVID. Yeah, keep it going in their minds. Yeah. So every time I work using this product, which should be an innocuous product that has none of this garbage attached to it, every single time I use this product, I'm faced with this nonsense. You know what I do when I open that program now? I open something else to go over the top of it, because I don't want to see this propaganda garbage. And you know what? People who work for Adobe, you should know better. Someone made the decision to put that in there and hid it like, that's a nice piece of artwork. Oh yeah. No, it was designed specifically, and the color scheme in it is horrific. It's designed to be jarring and to undermine your feelings of comfort. It's designed to make you uncomfortable. Thank you, people who are part of the problem. This kind of stuff's disgusting. And when it's all sorted out, when we've actually sorted all this nonsense out, we will look back on this kind of thing, and kids in school will be taught about it. The time in our history when our systems were hijacked by secret organizations who wanted to try and create a new world order, whatever the hell, right? And every institution that they could get their hands on was influenced to do this kind of nonsense. How disgusting. How disgusting. And you think people aren't going to notice, and you think people aren't going to fight back against it. You disgusting people. How dare you insult human intelligence that way? And I know who it is. I know the kind of people who are doing it. They're the same people who tried to take over the world using communism. That didn't work so well, did it? Because people fought back against it. It's diabolical. It's disgusting. Anyway, that's worth ranting about, because it's annoying. And this sort of stuff's everywhere. All this symbology. Woo, woo, woo. You really think that people don't notice it? It doesn't demoralise me. It just makes me angry and annoyed and more focused on getting the situation solved and sorted out, which I will, along with other people. God, it's just disgusting. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. We have institutions in our countries, right, which are focused on psychological warfare, all right? And they've been literally hijacked and turned against the populations of our own countries. That's the kind of situation we've got to deal with. Our governments have been hijacked. Private organisations have been hijacked by the same people who tried to install a one world government using communism. Well, instead of going through the front door, because they know that doesn't work, they're trying to go through the back door. Well, people, we better get our act together and force these people out of the back door. It's disgusting. It really is. And people better wake up. Better wake up. Because things have to change. Oh, goodness me. You know what? When I grew up, I didn't realise that I would be faced with this nonsense. And that I would feel definitely as though I have to do what I can to fix it. And I'm not the only person who feels that way. And the problem is there are a lot of people who just sit there and go, oh well, whatever. Yeah? Now those people are a bit of a problem. Because they have no incentive to do anything. Well, a lot of people do. And I'm one of them. And I want to get this fixed. I do desperately, absolutely want to get this fixed. And it can be fixed. Any problem has a solution. You just got to work out how to solve it. Yeah, these people have resources. Yeah, they've got an angle. Yeah, they have numbers. So what? That doesn't mean they're undefeatable. And time again, throughout human history, these same people have been defeated. They keep trying it on and trying it on and trying it on, and then people are just like, what the hell are you doing? And then they defeat them every single time. It is a war. It's constant, it's always. Maybe, I don't think it'll ever end. But in our human lives, we have to do what we have to, we have to do what we can to actually fight against this stuff. Which is fine, in a way. It's a great thing. It's an opportunity. Great people in history have been the ones who've tackled this stuff. And that's how it is. So you've got a choice in this life. You can actually just be one of the wallies who just goes along, who ends up being part of the problem. Or you can actually stand up against it. And here's the news, right? You either choose to stand up against it, or standing up against it will be put upon you. Okay? All right? Now, it's better to handle it up front. Otherwise, it'll just get out of hand. And that's how war is, really. There are people who say, oh, I don't want to get involved. Oh, I hope it'll go away. It never goes away. It's never going to go away. You have to make it go away. And that's what we have to do. That's why feminism is such a poison. Because the masculine mind says, no, I'm going to solve this problem. Whereas the female mind says, I'm going to see how I can tolerate it. Well, look at this mountain that we've got in front of us because of this toleration. No, we have to actively fix it. That's what we've got to do. Enjoy your day.